Well, let's say you get a huge tear in your screen door. Would you know what to do to fix it? Don't worry, I wouldn't either. But you know who does know what to do? Moore's DIY expert, Eric G., and he is showing us how. Take a look.
I mean, really, how dare the dog? You're supposed to open the screen door before you go through it. We've all had this happen to our screen door. Something goes through it. Last year, I had a snowball go through in the middle of winter. But you know something? This is a $10 fix in about 15 minutes, maybe a half hour if you're slow. This is easy. I'm gonna show you how. All right, our first step here is going to be to take off the hardware, but there is one little secret that you need to remember. We're doing a big screen door, so this is gonna be on the front of a sliding glass door. It's got a sturdy frame. But you know something, if you're working on a window screen, these things sometimes can get really flimsy, and what you can do is set them down on a wood surface, get them squared up by putting nails in the corner, little finish nails into your work surface. Then you can hold it square, and then it'll hold it down so you won't be chasing around. That way it actually fits back in the window once you got the screen back in. All right, first we're gonna take this handle off. Of course, if you've got a regular window screen on a regular window, that's not gonna be an issue. But I just wanna be able to get the screen from underneath this. Screens can be intimidating, but they're really simple. You have the screen material, and you have this gasket timed thing that goes around the outside that actually just shoves in here and holds it together. So our first step, we're just going to remove this and remove the entire screen. All right, next step is to remove this homemade doggy door, commonly known as the screen. We're going to get it out of here. All right, next step, we're going to put out the new screen. You can get this stuff at just about any hardware store. I like changing out screens when they get all nasty looking and falling apart, so I just bought a big roll of it and I've had it for a number of years. To put it, a little extra isn't going to hurt you. This stuff is very cheap. And you can just take a razor knife and cut it. All right, our next step is going to be to put this back in. But one of the things I do is I start with a factory seam on this one side, so you can kind of get it laid up and understand where things are going to be square at. So if you've got that about fit in here correctly, then you can just start in the corner that you started with, which makes it easy. And you set it in here. This is about a $5 tool. And there's a thin side and a wider side depending on how big of material this is. And this is just going to shove right in. Try to keep it as square as you can. We'll make sure it's tight on the other side. All right. Now that we've come down two sides, we're going to come up the back side of this here. Now what you got to do is this is where you're going to have to watch for the screen tightness, because you got two sides. We're going to stretch it kind of this way, and we're going to stretch it this way. This will automatically stretch it, so you just want to keep it somewhat even, because as it pushes down, it pulls it tight. The last thing we need to do here is going to be to cut this carefully. We're going to take our razor knife and come in here very carefully. If you mess this up, you're going to rip the inside of the screen, and guess what? You're going to do this all over again. And it's that simple. We're done. You can do this in about 15 minutes, and about 10 bucks, you can have brand new screens in your house. Why haven't you fixed them yet? Now you can do it.
Thanks, Eric. You can listen to Eric's podcast Around the House with Eric G on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify, and Saturdays from noon to 2 on AM 860 The Answer in Portland. For a link to reach Eric, you can head to our website, kptv.com/moregdo.